Welcome back to Ozarks Tonight. Well, it's hard to believe the summer is just about halfway over, and in a few weeks, some college students, first-time college students here in the Ozarks will be heading to school for the very first time, and that's when they're going to probably have to learn how to manage some money for the first time. So Shane Cowger with Arvest Bank is here joining us today to kind of talk about some tips parents can give to their kiddos before they head off to school to help make sure they don't get in a tough financial situation in their first semester. Thanks for being here. What tips do you have for parents?
Thank you for allowing me to kind of talk about this. Yeah, one of the first things I like to talk to parents about is sitting down and doing a budget. I have a daughter starting Missouri State, and one of the things that we did is we sat down with her just to show her and illustrate the money that is coming in. So whether that's a part-time job or a full-time job or just things you're doing on the side, and then those expenses related to currently that they're paying for. And so those expenses could be any type of bills, or as simple as little as a cup of coffee that they're getting. And so that really helps illustrate what's coming in and going out, and then the net effect of those two things.
Sure, and just something that seems simple, like a cup of coffee at Starbucks, if it's $5 or $6 over a 30-day period, that's a lot of money that's being spent every month. I've heard before that spending in cash, if you have it, is an easier way to kind of keep track of your money as opposed to swiping. Is that something that you think is true as well?
Yeah, I do. Especially if you know if you're setting a specific dollar amount aside to say this is what I can spend in a month or over a 2-week period, and so putting that in an envelope and marking that envelope and then using that envelope really helps, again, illustrate and helps a person understand how to use their money. And then inevitably somebody spends that money faster than they anticipated, right? Things come up, but then they adjust over a period of time and really starts laying some really good foundation for financial literacy.
Absolutely, and there's a lot of ways you can spend a lot of money in college just buying supplies, buying books, but that offers an opportunity to save money as well.
It does. So one of the things is books is a tremendous expense, and so can you buy a used book or can you buy an electronic book? Those versions are cheaper than a brand new book, obviously, and so if you can buy those things, the used book or the electronic version, that's cheaper. You get to save some money, but regardless, if you can, once you take those books, or when you're done with those books, then return those books back for money, that gets, kind of replenishes what you spent. And so just those little type of tricks really can pay long-term dividends.
Sure, and part-time job is always an option as well. Maybe just see how for an incoming freshman, just see how the class schedule is, get accustomed to it, and then nothing hurts about getting a part-time job as well.
Right. There's lots of employment opportunities in Springfield. It's a great part of a great thing about this community. I think anybody who wants to work can find work. And so once a student understands their schedule and what they can do, I think going out and seeking additional employment, even if it's 10 to 15 hours a week, that additional income can help so much with the expenses that they're facing.
Sure, and your child is heading to Missouri State. I mean, what's the most important thing that you try to impress or show them before they go off to school?
Yeah, one of the things I really want to impress upon her is that school is important, right? And that focus and getting good grades is very important, but also laying, the foundation for financial literacy. So not overextending herself, in our case, and making sure she's staying within the parameters, but just understanding how much money do I have coming in, and that illustration over a 30-day period of time is truly impactful for people that have never done it before. I challenge anybody to sit down and keep track and just see. And so if they see it, that maybe there's some things that they can adjust in that budget. Maybe instead of 5 coffees a week, maybe reduce it down to 2 or 3. Those little adjustments are really, really, really big. But again, and then also credit, establishing credit. That's one of the biggest questions that we get at the bank often from new borrowers is, how do I establish credit? Credit's going to come. There's plenty of credit card opportunities. There's a number of major credit cards out there that are going to extend you credit. One of the things that we teach our daughter is not to overextend. Having one card, having it there for an emergency, so if something comes up, that's available to her, but quickly paying that off, not relying upon that and carrying that debt over a long period of time.
Absolutely, because a lot of students in college are having to take out student loans, and credit card debt and student debt after school would be not a fun proposition when you hit the job force for the first time.
Right. No, college is expensive, and so you want to try to minimize that debt position so that when you get out and gainfully become employed, that you don't have additional debt that you look back on and say, gosh, I wish I wouldn't have done this, and I wish I would have done that. And so just minimizing that debt is really, really important.
Absolutely, and live frugally, college students.
That's right, live frugally, that's right.
Shane Cowger from Arvest Bank joining us in the studio today. Shane, thanks for coming in.
Thank you, John.
We'll be back with more Ozarks Tonight right after this.